Let's then raise the big questions on this critical issue of India's fight against COVID. How do you accelerate the vaccination drive? Why has it slowed down? What is the solution to increase the pace? Should the center be distributing vaccines free for all to all states? Should there be compulsory licensing for all vaccines to increase production and manufacturing? Joining me now, Dr. Naresh Trehan, Chairman and Managing Director at Vedanta. Dr. Sapan Pandya is immunologist with the COVID Vaccine Task Force in Gujarat. Dr. Rahul Pandit is member of the Maharashtra COVID Task Force and with Fortis Hospital. And Dr. Joseph Brito is infectious disease specialist and someone who's worked as a CEO with an American MNC as well. Appreciate all of you joining me. There are only two companies primarily whom we are relying on, Bharat Biotech, and we are relying on Serum Institute. Has the time come to to in a way, Dr. Brito, find compulsory licensing to ensure therefore that many manufacturers in India's pharma industry can all get involved in the manufacturing of vaccines? Does India need what you've described in a recent article, Dr. Brito, very interestingly, as a moonshot moment? The moonshot moment is needed to ramp up India's vaccinations urgently.
Rajdeep, thank you for focusing on this colossal problem that we as a nation face. In 1961, the then US President Kennedy committed the nation that an American would walk on the moon within a decade. I think Prime Minister Modi needs to make a moonshot decision now and commit the country that we will either procure or produce vaccine doses for 1 billion Indians for every pandemic cycle. And to do that, as Dr. Pandit and Dr. Trehan have suggested, we need a vaccine agency, a central vaccine agency that is managed by technocrats. That starts off in the first instance with the procurement and purchase of vaccine. Rich countries like the US, the UK, and Canada have stockpiles of vaccine far in excess of their requirements. We should leverage our relationship that we have with these countries.
Because we gave only 11 million orders in January for 1.4 billion people. We gave 11 million orders, Dr. Brito, in January for 1.4 billion people. That's crazy. And now we are trying to simply sort of catch up. We are playing catch up. Even with all the orders that Serum will bring by June, we are going to be nowhere close to vaccinating those between 18 and 44, Dr. Brito. So what do we do? How do we procure and produce in double quick time?
So either we leverage our relationships to get donations or pay fair market price. The US dollar cost of the vaccines that are available, the Pfizer, Moderna, the biotech vaccines that are currently available in USA, UK, and Canada are in the range of about 1,500 to 3,000 rupees. The cost of one dose of remdesivir is about 3,500 rupees. We should either get donated or purchased by fair price all vaccine doses that are stockpiled with our partner rich countries and get that into our country as we speak. But that has to be done under the aegis of a central vaccine agency. Procurement is only the first stopgap, self. The crucial second step, Rajdeep, is that the vaccine agency needs to get into, as you said, licensing arrangements. The WTO noises that are coming out of the G7 meeting, the wavering of TRIPS is a long shot. It will not happen for weeks. But what we need to do is to get into licensing arrangements. There are 20 vaccines that are currently, 4 of them are in phase 4, which means the vaccines are being used extensively and surveillance data is being collected. But there are 17 that are in phase 3, efficacy, either completed or to be completed. All 21 of these vaccines, we need to, agnostic to where they are produced, in which country they are produced, agnostic to that, get into licensing arrangements. The Central Vaccine Agency then does deals to purchase their stockpiles, sign licensing agreement, and use our robust Indian pharmaceutical industry, which has the capacity currently to produce 8.2 billion doses of all types of vaccines. We can't shelve the production of the other vaccines, but we do have the inherent ability to ramp up with our licensing partners abroad to meet this demand, because we will need 1 billion Indians
Okay.
to be vaccinated at every pandemic cycle. And just quickly, two more things that we need to do. Every vaccine center that has vaccines available tomorrow needs to work like hospitals do in shifts. We cannot have timings and slots given out by the COVID app that are from 9 to 4. We need to work round the clock, because vaccines don't save lives, vaccinations do. A vaccine sitting on the shelf is of little use. A vaccine needs to be administered. And as Dr. Pandit said, wastage is criminal. We need to find ways to fix wastage as soon as possible. But my last point, if I may,
Can I?
the vaccine agency also needs to invest
Yes.
in gene sequencing. We cannot produce platforms in our country with our foreign partners unless we have investment into gene sequencing. If you don't know the genetic information of a variant, you don't know what the source is, you don't know whether it's a fresh zoonotic infection, meaning jump species from animals or birds to humans, or whether this is a variant of concern for which we need to adapt our vaccine platform for our vaccines to be effective. Over.
Right. Okay. Very, very interesting points you put. I like the way you said over there.